I'd like to tell you a healing story, and it goes back about 25 years ago when I did a therapy for a professor of surgery who was head of the department at Tel HaShomer Hospital in Israel. Now, Professor Ayalon, like many doctors, was a bit skeptic, but what happened is that during the therapy, something actually changed his life because he started seeing auras. And when he opened his eyes at the end of the therapy, he said, "What is that?" And I kind of nonchalantly said, "Well, that's what I was telling you about before. That's the aura." And he said, "But I've never seen it before." And I said, "Well, now you do." And he said, "Listen, I think I stopped smoking. I don't have the desire anymore, but we have to meet and you have to tell me more about this aura thing." So I came over to his offices and we were speaking about the unseen worlds and energy and healing. And then he said, "You know, I want to tell you something. I never believed in these things. And my best friend, Dr. Lavi, he's a heart surgeon. And he was telling me about this heart surgeon in the United States that wrote a book called Healing from the Heart. And this guy, he's doing weird things in the operating room." Now, we're talking 25 years ago. So this doctor called Mehmet was allowing people into the surgery room. And while he was doing an operation, open heart, on a patient, the person was getting a reflexology treatment or having acupuncture or aromatherapy. And the thing is, he was getting better results than the usual surgeons. And people were starting to ask him, "What do you do? What is different?" Because people had less situations where the heart was not accepted. They had less situations of people feeling bad after surgery. And actually, people left the hospital faster and feeling better. And by this time, Dr. Mehmet was doing things like healing, where he would get the people in the church to pray during the time of the operation and do distant healing to the friend from their congregation. And at this point, he sat down to write the book. And the book, Healing from the Heart, became a bestseller because Dr. Mehmet Oz, you know him as Dr. Oz, was then found by Oprah Winfrey, and he became rather famous. And this book was written a long time before, so when I was reading it, I actually knew very little about the person. And what he was writing and telling in his book is that his grandfather in Turkey, where he grew up, told him, if you want to help people, it's not enough to cut them and sew them up. You have to take care of their energy, of their love, of their soul, spirit, ruh, jan, and all these things that are part of a human being. So I received this book about 25 years ago from Dr. Ayalon, who received it from Dr. J. Lavi. And he said he would like to meet you after you read this book. He thinks we can do similar things here in Israel. I read the book cover to cover. I read it again. It's amazing. And I'd really like to offer you, read this book. You will get so much knowledge. There are so many stories there. I mean, a person who went into a coma and he was a musician, so they found a way to play his music back to him and he came out. And surgery stories, it's really amazing. And after reading the book, I met with Dr. Lavi, and we started planning a whole procedure that while he would be doing the operation, I would be standing there and doing bioenergy and healing to help the process speed up. And we got it all worked out. We got everything arranged. And then, of course, we had to go to the bureaucracy. So we went to the head of the hospital, and he just listened to the story and he said, "Over my dead body, this is not going to happen in my hospital." And that's the end of the story, at least in the hospital. Because since then, I've been doing a lot of distance healing, and helping in many cases of operations. And I think this thing about healing, that you can transfer it and send it, it's one of the most amazing things about it. So if you're interested, join me. I'll be putting up a bit more information about distant healing soon.